So welcome to the November Business Power Hour with Superfast Business Wales around Google My Business. Howell, I can see that you're here, so I'll introduce yourself and maybe a little bit around sort of what you've got going on in terms of Business Wales at the moment as well.
Thanks very much, Matt. I'm Howell Bassett. I'm a business advisor with Business Wales. We support startup and established businesses. We run a Start a New Business webinar, which is very, very popular. We've got quite a few attendees attending that in every session that we do. And I would recommend that if anybody is starting a business, to have a look at the Business Wales website to see what we've got on offer there. There's a wealth of support there, as I'm sure Sarah would back me there. So thank you.
Thanks, Howell. Yeah, it's really important. And one of the things that we offer is startup business grants. And one of the requirements of those startup grants is that you need that business plan and that cash flow forecast. So just going through that process and making sure that you engage with Business Wales to have those required documents, not just for yourself, but in terms to unlock that funding as well, is really important. So really important stuff. If you're not aware of Business Wales, take a look at their website and all the resources on there, because there's lots of really important stuff there as well.
Okay. So I'm just going to sort of introduce myself and the service to start off with. So my name is Sarah. I'm one of the partnership managers for the service for South and West Wales. So I've just recently taken over the role, so very new, but we're just getting out to all the council regions and partners to basically discuss the service and how we can help. So if, as Hill sort of mentioned, Business Wales has many different avenues and many different support networks available for businesses, but with ourselves, we are the digital arm of Business Wales, and we provide support in anything to do with their digital technology. So that could be your infrastructure and hardware, software processes, cyber, digital marketing, social media, website and e-commerce as well. So very much anything that to do with online, we can support you with. We support businesses throughout Wales, so any SMEs across Wales should be, as long as they're trading, will be eligible for the service. And as long as you're based in Wales as well, you'll be eligible for the service. So we've been doing the service since March 2016. So we've got a wealth of knowledge and experience of different avenues and different aspects of digital. So any sort of aspect that you're looking to improve, I'm sure we'll be able to help and to support you with that. So just to give you some benefits of the service and some of the things that we've heard from businesses. For a lot of businesses, it reduces a lot of costs. So invest now for long-term savings. So a lot of these platforms that we use are very cost-friendly, and some have absolutely no cost to them, very much like Google My Business. And so that's the first one. A lot of businesses have said they've saved time, so they've streamlined internal processes. So a lot of the software that we recommend, they can be linked with other bits of software. So, for example, within Office 365, can link all of your documents up to each one of those platforms. So very time friendly. It grows profits, so attracts and retains customers. So again, this will increase your level of customers in the business, and to have that digital presence is always a way of improving and growing your growth of your profit. And then lastly, and this one has really been a key over the last 2 years, is it improves stability and it boosts staff skills and workplace processes. And this is one of the things that we've heard a lot of over the last 2 years, is the fact that you may have a shop presence, but to be online as well as a backup for the business. And something that we've seen over the last 2 years is people that have diversified to be online, and they're now looking to have a hybrid business where they've got a physical presence and an online presence. So it really does improve the stability of the business and the long-term longevity of it as well. So they just feel the benefits we've heard of. And then just to give you some idea of quotes of what people have seen after going through the service. So just a couple of quotes that we've got here. So D&J Office Interiors mentioned that the remote working has saved us 3,600. So a cost saving there for them. Fit My Floor, we've delivered 34% of sales through Facebook. So again, as to do with Facebook and online. For travelling precision engineering, digital technology helped increase our revenue by 20%. So again, a cost and increase in profits. Nordic International, we boosted revenue by 40% with cloud technology. GeoSmart Decision, we made 300% efficiency saving with digital technology. So again, that's to do with their internal processes that they've improved. And then switching to digital increased our productivity by 50% for equine and environmental. So they're just some of the quotes that we've heard from businesses after they've been through the service, which is really great to hear. And then just some of the case studies that we've done throughout the service as well. So this one is from Farm Yurts. So they came through the service right back at the start of the service in 2016. They're based up in Gwynedd. So very well known within the region of Gwynedd. They were looking to build a new WordPress website to optimize in search engines. And they were keen to move away from the third-party sites like Airbnb and PitchUp. So they've improved their sales and revenue through the WordPress website, which is great to hear. And then we have a solicitors, Flex and Co, who are over in Chepstow, and they came through the service in 2018. And as you can see, they were looking to improve their software online through a CRM system called Leap, and to improve their documents storage and communication in the office as well. And then finally, we got Choice Bookkeeping, who are over in Raglan in Monmouthshire, and very similar to Flex and Co. They were looking to switch to Office 365 to make it easier in the office and to improve their software as well. So really great to hear some of the feedback that people have implemented after they've been through the service. So within our webinars that we have, we do mention Google My Business, and it's something that we do recommend that all businesses have and adopt within the business. So just to give you a bit of an overview to start off with of Google My Business. So basically what Google My Business is a free listing on Google that can create within 15 minutes and appears higher in the organic search and map lists of the Google search page. So basically it's a way of improving your visibility online. So the name of the business, address, phone number allows you to appear in the location-based map search as well of the engine as well. You can also use your profile to show helpful information like services offered or changes to opening hours over Christmas, for example. So very flexible to change any information. And then also you can add the reviews at the bottom, very much like on other platforms like Facebook and TripAdvisor. This will allow you to add reviews as well. And the reviews can be then a factor in the search engine rankings, because what you'll find is any reviews that you've got on Google My Business will push your listing further up on the search engine. So it's a very, very powerful piece of listing to have in your business as well for your search engine optimization. Now, you may remember a platform called Google Plus. Now, Google Plus was Google's first attempt at social media and a business linked to social media. Unfortunately, that didn't work, and this is where Google My Business has spawned from. They've taken the best bits of Google Plus and they've put it into Google My Business. So it's very, they've created something from that platform and they've put it into something that is a lot better for businesses and a lot more user-friendly than what Google Plus was. So that's just a bit of an overview of what Google My Business is. So you may have seen on the search engine, the box at the side of all the listings that you can see in the middle page. Now, the box at the side is your Google My Business listing. And what will happen is when you place when you type in a business name, what Google will do will find the name in the background. And if it has a Google My Business page listing, it will show that before very promptly on the side, and it will be very prompt other than the listings on the side. So it's very visible. And Google will push that further than any other listing that they may have in the search engine. So again, it's very useful for visibility within the site as well. So just a few benefits and how you can use Google My Business. So It is a way of accessing your website and social media. So there's links at the top of your Google My Business that will allow people to click through to anything that you've may have put in the background. So that could be your directions and to your site if you've got a physical location, website, any social media listings, a phone number as well. So that will come up right at the top of the search bar. You can do bookings through it, and you can also do reviews. It will also allow you to do social media postings as well. So if there's anything that you put on your Facebook or your Instagram, you can also put that on this Google My Business list as well. It also allows you to add general information as well. So it manages multiple listings and sites as well. So it allows you to add them in the background. And it also allows you to manage them as and when needed. And it's Google optimized as well. So it will allow Google to push your listing further in the search engine as well. So just a few benefits and how you can use it as well. So just to give you sort of an easy start off guide of how to create your listing. So there's two ways of getting your listing on Google My Business. So the first one is if you search for your business on Google. Now, if the business profile doesn't appear, you'll need to create one. So you need to go to the link that's been put in the listing in the slide, and then you can just start creating your profile in the background. Now, alternative to that, a profile may already exist from information that Google has put together. And how Google does this, it scours the listings that they have within the search engine and puts a listing together. What that then does is it shows your listing as with all the information that they've gathered, so your social media, any website listings that they have as well. But it's not, what you need to do then is you need to claim it, because it's not claimed by anyone. It's what Google has put together in the background. So you should claim this and make sure all the details are correct in the background. So as it says, the profile may already exist because someone else owns it or has claimed it, and you will need to request ownership. That's another thing that you may have to do as well. And I'll just go through that in a second. When you have claimed your listing, some of the things that you need to add is your address. Now, if you have a presence, an address that you don't want anyone to come to, you can do a service area for your business. So what this does is if you deliver a service to people, e.g. like a gardener or pizza delivery, mobile dog groomer, and you don't have a physical office, you can set a service area and it will show a region that you cover and you will travel to. This can be postcodes, counties, town names, council regions, or regions within Wales itself. So it's very flexible to however you want to be present in. You can also hide your address on Google My Business as well and on Google Maps, but it will require it on your listing. So it will require it in the background, but it won't show on the physical appearance as well. So setting up your listing and to-dos. So make sure all of your contact details are on here. So if you have multiple telephone numbers, make sure there's multiple telephone numbers. If you have a name of your address, or make sure that the full address is in there, the postcode. So always make sure that they're up to date. And also add in your email address and any contact details that you may have that they can contact you, so make sure it's up to date. Make sure that you have your social media and your website links. So in the business, in the listing you see on the side, it's got a website button, so make sure that those are available for people to click through. Review section is open, so people can add reviews for you, and you can also direct people to the review listings as well. So make sure that those are available. And there is a messaging service in this as well. So you can link up a messenger site, so your Facebook Messenger or your WhatsApp Messenger, and people can send you messages through Google My Business, and it will come through to you on whichever site that you've chosen to have those messages through. And then lastly, photos. I know one of you have mentioned photos already. Photos are really important to add. And the reason for this is because if Google has scoured the internet for details of your business, what it may have done is pulled up in photos that don't necessarily give a good image of your brand. So the example that we got here is Celtic Leathers. Now, their photos are of outside the streets, and the Google car's gone past and taken a photo of a van or a lorry, as you can see outside the outside building. So it doesn't necessarily give the best branding. So what you need to do is you need to upload at least 5 images to Google My Business in the background. Otherwise, what Google will do is they'll find the most relevant information, photos for your business. So if it thinks that, as you can see here, Celtic Leathers, there's a photo outside, they'll add that. For them, it doesn't really matter. It's a photo that they found. And also, you can see on the side then, they've also got the maps as well. So if you wanted a more photo visual listing, please do add your own photos to this, as it's something that otherwise Google will do themselves. Just very annoying, but it's one of those things. So yeah, make sure you add at least 5 photos to the Google My Business in them. So just to give you a bit of an insight then onto the user panel. So just to give you an example of the on the side, that will show how your user listing will look in your side on the background of Google My Business. So just to give you a few things of how you can use this in the background. So first, Insight Analytics. So this tool will allow you to use keyword research. The words that people use to search your type of business and where searches have come from as well. So it will show that all in the analytics, and the analytics are done in really user-friendly terms as well. So they'll show how many people have been viewed, how many people have been to your site and clicked through to, say, your social media or your website, how many people have interacted with the Google My Business listing. So the insights are very user-friendly, and they're very helpful to show whatever you've updated in your Google My Business listing. It will show in the analytics how that has improved your reach to your customers. So really important to use the analytics within this as well. It will also allow you then to have search hours, so bank holiday, for example. So if you don't open, or if you do open on bank holidays, it will allow you to add those on as and when needed. More hours, so outside of normal working hours, you can add as well. It has categories, so add as many categories to this that is relevant to your business. So it will allow you to add categories such as business industry, your type of business that you supply, services that you supply to customers. So add as many categories to the Google My Business listing as needed, because that will not only improve your search, it will also improve the keyword research in the background as well. So more people, the more words that you add in the categories, the more likelihoods customers have of finding your listing. So as many categories as needed. And then also for hospitality, there is a menu link that you can add. So if you wanted to add your menu or menus to the listing, people can link through to your menu through the Google My Business. So they don't have to go to the website. They will, as you can see on the side, they've got a menu tab that you can add as well. So there are many other different avenues that you can use for as well. And it's all about just giving it a go. Seeing what you can add, what you can change, and how that improves the search of your business as well. So all about just getting in there and just using it as and when you need to. So not only is there Google My Business, we also mentioned about free listings and directories as well. So being listed in online directories is bare minimum of being online. 97% of customers search online for local businesses. Listings within the free directories will help your visibility. And make sure the business name, address, and phone number are all identical across all listings as well. So whatever you've put onto your Google My Business, make sure that you put that onto other listings as well. It really is important to improve your search engine optimization. And then tradesman listing sites as well. So there are many different trades listings as well as the Google My Business that you can add. So these listings are designed to match customers to trades people and have mixed reviews as well. Checker Trades annual membership is available as well, so from builders and merchants as well. One advantage of being listed as well, and this also goes for Google My Business, is the backlinking between the listed website and the business website as well. It just helps with business being findable as well. So all of these links are really important to have, as well as Google My Business, something that we also mention on the webinars to do as a when you find them. And however, this could be used to build a reputation and to encourage customers to recommend the business to their friends and family as well. Again, this is something that you can do within Google My Business, so you can actually ask people to put a review and then share it with their friends and family on their own social media. So all very flexible business as well. So just a couple of easy wins for your business. So claim your Google My Business listing and start managing them. Now, there was one of the guests on today who mentioned about someone who came in saying that they could manage their website, their Google My Business listing for a fee. These are scams. We do not recommend that you take up these options at all. Google My Business is a free listing. It doesn't cost anything. It's not costable to Google. It is completely free to a business to start using. So if anyone does ask for managing their listing, please say no. It is completely free. I'm managing it myself. It is a free, very, very free listing. So if there's anything that we do recommend, is not to go near the we can manage your Google My Business listing. It is completely free. If you have a physical location as well, make sure that you add that into the map search as well, and manage them effectively. So keep your information up to date. So special hours, upcoming events, posting news updates, reviews, and make it easy for your customers to find you as well in the search engine. So make sure it's all up to date so that they can find you within the listing. And then additional sources. So I'll just go through the service, what we provide. So if you visit Google My Business, we have all of our webinars available, and I'll just go through that in a second as well. So check out the guides that we have as well, top tips and software directory as well. And then the service itself. So I've gone through a very overview of Google My Business, and it's something that we do go through in more detail in our webinars. So if you go to our website, please do register on one of our webinars. The digital marketing and social media webinars will go into more detail about Google My Business, and that will give you more of an insight on how to use it further. So please do visit our website. We've also got other topics available as well. What will happen then is our online team will contact you to arrange a time and date for your online diagnostic call and registration. And what that will do is that will allow our team to understand the business a bit more, what areas you're looking to get support in and how we can help, and also any areas that you wish to have support that we could potentially add a webinar in. So one of the things that we saw over the last year was the innovation of Teams and Zoom and how people could use them further. So we have added in a delivering online courses and virtual services webinar through that information that we provided with. Once that's done, then they will either book you onto additional webinars that may be of support for you and maybe of help. And you'll have the 2-hour practical webinar then that can be done as and when needed. And there's, as I said, a range of topics available as well as social media, digital marketing. We've also got cyber security, CRM, online office as well. So a range of different topics for you to attend. Once the 2-hour sessions also have a very knowledgeable facilitator. They'll also do a question and answer session throughout as well. So very informative for the businesses that do attend 2 hours. After that, then you'll have a one-to-one support session with a digital business advisor, and they'll do an action plan that meets your needs and support you further as well. Very tailored information that the advisors provide. They'll also do a website review and a report for you afterwards as well. And then we've also got free access to online resources, software directory, learning modules, guides, and tips and blogs. So that's the service that we can offer. Yeah, then this is our contact details. So please do contact the telephone number provided. And we also have the website as well. And we've also got Business Wales as a telephone number and a website address for you as well. And that's myself. My name is Sarah Morris, and I'm Partnership Manager for South and West Wales. Please do contact me if you wish to discuss further. And then I'm more than willing to answer any questions that you may have, and anything that you may wish to mention at all.
Fantastic. Many thanks for that, Sarah.
No problem at all.
Couple of comments from others really. Is that my background noise, or can anyone else hear that? Or
no, I can't hear anything.
It sounds like it's relaying something. Yeah. Okay, we'll carry on. No worries. Just in terms of the you mentioned about the website itself. There's the Google app as well. It's kind of more of a comment than a question, really. And I've just looked on the Google app in terms of looking up for a business, and then it's more important on the Google app, because rather than a little box at the side, it appears in a huge box at the top of the screen.
It does, yeah. That's a new. I think that's quite new that Google's done. So that's one of the things they've done last year. So the mobile side of a website is actually quite important now, because in 2014. It actually, the level of people who were actually searching on phones actually overtook those that were searching on desktops. So mobile search and mobile optimize is quite important now for businesses. So if you have got that element of your business, it's quite important to have Google My Business in there as well.
Yeah, certainly. Just to go back to the comment that I put on there, if anyone has got a question, if they could just raise their hand using the little man with the high five on the top there. And we'll come across to you. There we are, Isabella, far away.
Yeah, I was concentrating on the hand, but the question. So I'm in the kind of process with the Prince's Trust of setting up my business plan and kind of planning things at the moment. So I wondered, yeah, I guess it's still beneficial for me to put this into the business plan, or how would you approach perhaps like the digital marketing and the putting the plan for doing it?
So one of the webinars that we do, so the digital marketing basic webinar, is we have a bubble basically of all the elements of digital marketing that are needed. So a lot of people will say, oh, they're on social media, so that's that's everything that they do. But there are other parts of that bubble that you do need to be looking at as well. So one of the things that we do mention is that you do have a website, because it is your home online, and then you have the Google My Business listing linked to it as well, because that will improve your search engine optimization within your website in the background as well. So that's another element of digital marketing that we go into as well. We also mentioned that you use photos and videos and reviews as much as possible. Those three elements of your postings are as critical now as the actual handwritten or the post that you put up generally. The reason for that is because we take in content that has photos and videos more than written posts or written updates. The reason for that is because it's visual, and we are visual creatures. We like to see photos and colours. So those elements are really important. Particularly for your sort of social media, and that's where the evolution of Instagram has come from. Is the fact that we take in photos and videos more than any other sort of content of social media. We also mentioned things like backlinking, which I mentioned in the presentation as well. Backlinking is really important, that you can get links from other websites, and all the information is correct across those as well. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head the others. So things like analytics, make sure that you're looking at anything that you do in your digital marketing, looking back at your analytics to see if it's improved anything to do with your website. So if the click through to your websites have increased, if people are staying longer on your website, it's increased as well. So make sure that you have the analytics in the background, particularly. And again, Google has their own analytics called Google Analytics 4 that's come out recently. And also make sure that you're using all the tools within Google as well. There's not only Google My Business and the analytics, there's also Google Trends. So it will show what people are looking for compared to other words. So for example, if you were a camping site, for example, and people were looking for accommodation over camping, say for example, it will show the trend of what people are searching and when they're searching for it as well. There's other tools that Google uses as well. So the more you use Google, the higher they'll go in the search engine. So there's a lot of different avenues, but it's just getting all the knowledge that you can, particularly from ourselves and Business Wales as well, from our advisors, and using them to improve your visibility online. So there's a lot of avenues to go into, but those are just a few of them.
And is there any very echoey where someone can sit down and like help me kind of make a plan for that? Because
yeah, so with ourselves, so this is probably where Business Wales would probably help. We support businesses that are currently trading. So what we can do is any business that has started trading and you've got income coming into the business, we can put a strategy together within the one-to-one session at the end of the service with the digital business advisor, and they can put a strategy together to help you see what you need to improve within your business, what you need to add, improve, look at, and continue updating as well. I know Business Wales can help pre-starts and setting up a business in more detail than what we can at Superfast. But once you are trading and once you are set up, we can support you further in setting up a strategy for digital marketing and then for that.
Okay, thank you.
Sarah, can I just ask you about how Google My Business links in with Google Maps? Because there is sort of a relationship between the two.
Yes. There is, yes. So Google, the element of Google My Business that links with Maps is the address. So as long as within Google My Business that you have the address as is in your business and on your website, it will link through to the map element. And what it'll do in the search engine as well is when you scroll down after the add part of the search engine, it'll show a box with a map, and then it'll show the 3 most relevant businesses under it as well. So once you have the Google My Business listing and the address is there, it'll link through to the map element as well. So it's really important as well because it'll show the star rating for your reviews as well. So it's very visible before it'll show any other search engine searches for the websites as well. So very important for the map element because it'll drop the pins on the maps as well, and it'll view your business will view more prominently on the map when you're looking at any businesses or searching any areas. So it is very important. They do link together, and also we have the directions and the access within the map area as well. So yeah, very important to have. With something to add as well, with the service areas, that element of Google My Business, you can actually, instead of dropping it on your address, you can actually drop the pin somewhere else within the map, searching the service area. So it doesn't have to be necessarily on your address if you don't have a physical location that people come to. So you can move that pin around if you need to. So it's another trick for Google for searching within the map region as well. So yeah, very important for the mappings for within Google.
Yeah, I'd imagine in the same. I think I saw the figure of, was it 92 or 93% of the search engine market that Google has got for maps. I'd imagine they've got a fairly similar big share of the online market, haven't they?
That's correct, yeah. Now there is also a Bing My Business, so Bing search engine that comes with Microsoft laptops. There is a version of Bing My Business as well, and it's the same setup as Google My Business as well. So we would recommend looking at Bing My Business as well. But I think a vast majority of searches do come through Google now, and a lot of people do use Bing to then search Google. So it is more prominent than any other search engine, but it is worth looking at Bing My Business as well for those that use Microsoft, like ourselves that have got Microsoft laptops. So
yeah, when we had the session with, I think it was Copper Bay Digital in the previous session, I think he suggested that the majority of Bing traffic was just the default Microsoft browser. People hadn't bothered changing.
Yes,
so
yes, indeed.
There we are. In terms of the website link, does that have to be to a website, or could that be to your Facebook page, say? Or
it can be, yeah. So it will allow you to add social media and websites. So if it is a social media link, it will have in the user panel at the background. It will have the links to social media, and you can add in as many social media pages as you wish as well. But if you have got a prominent one like Facebook, for example, it will show that first, and then it'll also have the website link as well, so that they'll be two separate in the background on the user panel then.
Great. Okay. And you mentioned the reviews in terms of them being really important. Is there ability to respond to comments within those reviews as well? Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Good and
So
bad, I guess, is important as well on that.
Indeed, yeah. Reviews are next to photos and videos now. Reviews are really, really important for search for postings, because people take reviews as more of a honest review then of the business than anything else. So if word of mouth reviews are really important for a business, and they'll trust that over anything else that they'll see on your social media, for example. So if you did have a review from a customer, particularly on Google My Business, make sure you copy it through to social media, or vice versa as well. You can copy, you can ask people if they have posted on social media to post on your Google My Business as well. So it's very open for reviews, and you can, very much like TripAdvisor, you can comment to them and say, you know, thank you very much for the review, or if there was an issue, that, you know, to contact yourself, and you know, you can deal with it offline, sort of thing. So very, very flexible for you to answer to as well.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Jeffrey, I've seen you just joined the call. We're sort of coming towards the end now, but certainly stick around for sort of the remainder of the Q&A, and we will have this available on YouTube towards the end of the session as well. So I realise you're coming in slightly late, but if there's anything you want to ask whilst you've got Sarah here, then by all means go ahead and ask the question. That's fine.
Righto, thank you.
Good morning.
Just in terms of the reviews, sort of, I guess you mentioned it's important for the Google rankings. Just sort of anecdotally, I mean, I know that I've used it when I used to sort of do away days with my football team. We come away from the ground, search Google for Indian restaurants, and filter by 4 stars or more. So people do use it, you know, in terms of.
Yeah, and Google does promote them more prominently in the search engine as well. So the more stars you've got, the higher they'll search, particularly within the map element as well. So the more stars, the more prominent you'll be viewed as well. So it's all about the search engine optimization part in the background as well, and to really just increase that usage of Google My Business. And the more you use it, the more Google will see that you use it, so the higher you'll go in the background. So yeah, very, very important element, definitely.
And then sort of my last question, I'm holding the floor a little bit here, but anyone else has got a question, then do put their hand up. You mentioned about the photos in terms of at least 5 photographs. A question in 2 parts, really. Can you prioritise the order in which those photographs appear? And then secondly, was just a question around, and this is maybe a slightly different answer to what you said before, but people that come in offering the 3D sphere photographs inside your business, and whether there's an instance where that service is something that might be worth taking up. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I'm not the 3D. Now I'm not sure if Google My Business will. And it might be something worth, if you do come through the service, to asking the digital business advisor about. But the photos can be put in order that you wish. So, for example, a lot of people put their logo of their business first, and then a photo of themselves, or the product that they produce. For example, so if it's one of our facilities, will say if it's cakes, make sure you have a cake in the next photo over. So make sure that if there is an order for your photos, make sure to put them in that order, because that's how they'll show in Google, and you can move them around if you need to as well. The 3D element, I'm not 100% sure on if that can be added to the photo elements, but I'm sure that the links can be added in the background to it if you need to. Something I will have a look at and come back to you.
Great, thank you for that.
No
Does anybody else have
problem.
any other further questions before I sort of start to wrap this up? Your final chance. Andrew, does that answer your question in terms of the photographs and the experience that you had this week?
Sorry, just come back on. Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
And as I mentioned about, the scams element, there are a few of them around, and they will target businesses that they know have got Google My Business listings, because they'll do their research on the business. So just, to reiterate, it's a free listing to any business to use independently for themselves. It doesn't need managing. It really is independent to the business and how they wish to use it. It is basically just money making scam for some of these people. So as I said, please don't take them up on the offer, and manage it as best as you can as well.
Brilliant, thank you.
Good, thank you for that. I've got a lot to take away, sort of two in particular. One is that just how important this is as a platform, because Google, like I say, is 92-93% of the market. It's something you can't afford to ignore. And secondly, just sort of the level of depth you can go into in terms of the analytics and understand more about your customers and your business. So underestimate it at your peril, I guess, is the takeaway, really. Yeah, it is. And there's some of that we do recommend in the service to use. It's a very simple tool to use, even if you don't use anything else, and the backlinking or anything else within your search engine optimization. This is as important for your website and to use for search engine optimization. So it is there. It's a very powerful tool to use as well. Great. Okay. Just a couple of things from me then in terms of wrapping up. Firstly, thanks, Sarah, for that. That's hugely valuable. Really good stuff. In terms of what's coming next for Business Swansea, we've got no more sessions of the Power Hour for this year. We'll take a break in December because it would have been Christmas week, so it would have been a little bit too close to Christmas. But we're designing the programme for 22 already, and we're running sessions every month from now on in terms of this club itself, but also in terms of the Startup Enterprise Club that again will start back in January again. I put a link in the chat now to our e-newsletter. Please, if you haven't already, do sign up for that, because that's where the information of all of our events is going to be posted in terms of this club, the Enterprise Club, but also the landscape of business support and particularly business funding is changing quite a lot and changing for the better at the moment. There's potentially quite a lot of new business funds becoming available between now and the end of March next year. So it's changing quickly. There's potentially more and more support available at quite short notice. So please do sign up for that e-newsletter, because that's where we're going to be posting details of all of that as and when it becomes live. And potentially there'll be the need for you as businesses to respond to that if you're interested quite quickly, because the nature of timescales we've been given means that we need to get this money out the door potentially quite quickly. So I can't sort of go into details about it at the moment because Welsh Government haven't finalised exactly what that looks like, but that e-newsletter is certainly the place to go to in terms of that support. So I'll leave it there. Draw you to attention to our YouTube channel where all of our sessions, as say, are available. There's a really good resource on there. But unless anyone else has got anything finally to offer before we head off, I will thank Sarah again and thank you all for attending, and look forward to seeing you in the next session.